I'm taking it slow, but I just want more. I'm taking it slow, just go with the flow.
At last, Castle Grayskull is mine!
Not so fast, Skeletor.
Whoa, what's happening? He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, Dragon Pearl of Destruction coming soon to all platforms?
Yes, it's He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, Dragon Pearl of Destruction. Intense beat-em-up action that puts the power in your hands.
Kicking off the list, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe Dragon Pearl of Destruction is shaping up to be a must-play on Switch. You're gonna be taking control of He-Man, Tila, and Man-at-Arms, tearing through over a dozen epic stages full of random goodness. Combat is classic beat-em-up chaos, with each hero bringing unique attacks, magical blasts, and devastating special moves. Boss fights and enemy waves demand timing and strategy, while co-op adds an extra layer of fun. It's gonna be packed with nostalgia, spectacle, and non-stop action. This one's shaping up to be a retro brawler that really does Eternia justice.
Classic arcade controls. It's powered up pixel perfection for your gaming console or personal computer. He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, Dragon Pearl of Destruction, coming soon.
Knights of the Round on Nintendo Switch brings Capcom's 1991 arcade classic roaring into the modern era. You play as King Arthur, Lancelot, or Percival, each with distinct strengths, smashing through hordes of enemies in a medieval fantasy world. The Switch version adds save states, a rewind feature, and adjustable difficulty, making the old-school challenge more accessible without losing its arcade bite. Horse riding sections, fluid combat, and character upgrades keep gameplay dynamic, while vibrant backgrounds and an epic soundtrack immerse you in Camelot. Co-op play amps up the fun, letting friends join the chaos. It's a nostalgic, well-polished beat-em-up worth revisiting. Wulverblade on Switch is a brutal, beautifully animated side-scrolling brawler that channels the golden age of arcade beat-em-ups. Set during Roman-occupied Britain, you control Caradoc, Brennus, or Guinevere, each with unique strengths, unleashing combos, grapples, and special moves to cut through legions of foes. The game's clever mechanics, blocking, rolls, rage mode, and weapon use add tactical depth to the chaos, while environmental hazards and execution spice up combat. Gorgeous 2D visuals, historically inspired locations, and a pulse-pounding soundtrack make every stage memorable. Co-op play is essential, but it also stays addictive well beyond the main campaign. Capcom Arcade's second stadium on Switch is a treasure trove of retro goodness, packing 32 classic arcade titles into one slick package. From 1984's Son to 2003's Hyper Street Fighter 2, there's something for every fan of old-school gaming. Each game comes loaded with online leaderboards, score challenges, time trials, and special challenges that crank up the difficulty. Display options let you mimic arcade cabinets or go full screen, and save states or rewind features make tough games approachable. Multiplayer is almost universal, and some titles even bundle 3 games in one. Whether chasing high scores or revisiting classics, Second Stadium is a retro road trip you can carry in your Switch. Coming in at number 5, it's Absolum, and this beat 'em up is legitimately wild. You play as one of 4 rebels trying to stop the Sun King Azra, and each run feels fresh thanks to procedural enemies and hand-drawn-esque visuals that pop. Combat is insanely flexible. You swing, cast, glide, and chain magic attacks, with Brom the Frog Wizard stealing the show. Death isn't a setback, it's a chance to learn enemy patterns and come back stronger. Every stage is packed with surprises, hazards, and clever enemy designs. Launching on 9th October 2025 for Nintendo Switch, Absolum nails that balance between stylish, challenging, and endlessly replayable. Mad King Redemption is coming to Switch, and it's shaping up to be a serious treat for fans of arcade beat-em-ups. You step into the shoes of fallen heroes, fighting for redemption while wielding the forbidden magic that corrupted their world. Each run feels different, with unique encounters against the Mad King, multiple hero classes, and randomized powers keeping the combat fresh. You'll mix passive buffs, special abilities, and hero skills to create your own unstoppable warrior. The game's 2.5D pixel art is gorgeous, and the roguelike progression adds depth beyond classic button mashing. Early 2026 can't come soon enough for this Switch release.
Redemption. Wishlist now.
Wulverblade is a 1992 arcade beat-em-up from Taito that lets you step into the shoes of Rastan, the thief and his allies as they journey to Depon in search of hidden treasure. This third entry in the Rastan series originally ran on a 2-screen cabinet, giving a massive play area and immersive sound to every swing and stomp. The Arcade Archives version keeps all that classic charm intact while adding modern conveniences, like adjustable difficulty and recreated arcade display settings. You can even chase high scores online and compare yourself with players worldwide. With menus and manuals in multiple languages, this is a true arcade gem that still holds up. Golden Axe has officially swung back into action, and while this isn't a Switch exclusive release, it's still worth mentioning for fans of classic beat-em-ups. Nearly 36 years after its original arcade debut, fan developer HFF Man has completed an unofficial Neo Geo port of Sega's 1989 side-scrolling brawler, keeping the original arcade difficulty while adding a ton of extra features. Backgrounds, stages, and sound were painstakingly optimized to replicate the arcade feel. Retro fans with Neo Geo hardware or emulators can finally swing those axes once again.
An ancient evil awakens anew. A shadow of great chaos is cast upon this land. Now bold adventurers are called upon to assemble. For alone, each brave warrior is formidable.
Dungeons & Dragons Chronicles of Mystara is a neat little package that pulls together Capcom's classic arcade brawlers, Tower of Doom and Shadow, over Mystara into one HD remaster. Instead of just relying on nostalgia, it actually gives you tons of options, challenges, and even online play. The combat looks like simple button mashing at first, but each character has their own combos and special moves that keep things interesting. Multiplayer, both local and online, works surprisingly well despite the occasional lag. With unlockables, branching story paths, and 2 full campaigns, it's an awesome way to revisit Capcom's colorful past. Dungeons & Dragons Chronicles. Sword of the Vagrant feels like a classic action RPG with a modern indie twist. It's got simple controls, attack, jump and skills that open up into fun combos once you start unlocking abilities. The mana system is where things get interesting, letting you grow stats through a Final Fantasy X style grid while upgrading weapons and armor along the way. The platforming is smooth, though running with double tap can feel a bit clunky. Story-wise, it leans on familiar RPG tropes but still keeps you invested as you push forward. For $10, you're getting a decent adventure with great music, solid combat and just enough challenge to make it worth the ride. Capcom Arcade Stadium isn't just a collection, it's like stepping into a virtual arcade stacked with Capcom's classics. You start with 1943 for free, but the real draw is the 30 game packs, spanning everything from Strider and Final Fight to Street Fighter II and Pro Gear. The wrapper itself is stylish. You scroll past arcade cabinets, drop in credits, switch views, even flip into Tate mode for vertical shooters. Features like rewinds, save states, speed controls, and weekly challenges make the tough games approachable while keeping the nostalgia intact. Sure, some titles are dated or already available elsewhere, but as a package, it's a lively, well-crafted slice of arcade history. Capcom Arcade Stadium is like having a full arcade squeezed onto your Switch, complete with classics, hidden gems, and some long-awaited console debuts. You get 32 games here, with a huge emphasis on shooters like Pro Gear, Giga Wing, and 1944. A Loop Master alongside staples like Final Fight, Ghosts and Goblins, and Street Fighter II. The package feels alive with extras, rewind, speed controls, scanline filters, online leaderboards, even time-limited challenges. Performance is generally solid, though handheld play and thumbstick controls aren't perfect for high-level runs. Still, for the price, it's a massive slice of Capcom history that feels both nostalgic and fresh.
Evil has returned, and our champions must answer the call.
What's this?
Battle Axe is one of those games that instantly nails the look and vibe of old-school arcade slashers. With pixel art from Henk Nieborg and a soundtrack by Manamai Matsumai, it's bursting with style. You pick from 3 different warriors and dive into short but flashy stages, either solo or with a friend in local co-op. The combat feels punchy and the animations have real weight, but it doesn't take long to notice how repetitive things get. Enemies mostly charge straight at you, bosses are easy to exploit, and the whole game wraps up quickly. It's gorgeous and nostalgic, but ultimately shallow.
Battle Axe!
Battle Princess Madelyn Royal Edition feels like a love letter to old-school Ghosts and Goblins, but with its own twists. The big change here is focus. Gone is the messy story mode from the first release, replaced with a tighter arcade-style experience that actually works better. Movement feels smooth with double jumps and mid-air control, and the action is packed with enemies and weapons to master. The pixel art and music hit the retro vibe, but unclear visuals, frustrating bosses, and odd design flaws really drag it down. It's close to greatness, but not quite there.